The College Program for Students with Autism Spectrum Disorder at Marshall University was established in the year 2002. It all started with the vision of one parent with one son on the autism spectrum who decided his son was ready for college, and he really loved Marshall football statistics. So that father came to the West Virginia Autism Training Center, which is housed in Old Main on Marshall's campus, and said, what can we do to make sure my son succeeds in college? And there started the college program. So we actually, our mission statement is that the college program provides individualized skill building and therapeutic supports in a mentored environment to degree-seeking students as they pursue their degree at Marshall University.
Hi, I'm Brent Fragnoli. I am a student support specialist in the college program for students with ASD. A student support specialist is a family and an individual or student with autism front line when it comes to receiving an extra level of support here at Marshall. Anything from independent living supports, academic supports, and social skill supports. We help advocate on behalf of the student and family and be kind of that individual caretaker and support specialist away from home here on campus. So whether it's reaching out to mom and dad and filling them in where we're at, via phone, text, or email, helping students on a regular basis, 24 hours a day, any social interaction that comes up, any academic time management, executive functioning skill piece that needs to be maybe managed or curtailed in a way to help set up that student for the best chance of success in their coursework, as well as to understand how can we move more towards independence and have a successful life, not only here at Marshall over the next whether 2, 3, 4 years, but also make sure that we're going to have a successful, increased quality level of life beyond graduation, and with the goal of employment and the goal of complete independence. What can we do to apply behavioral supports enough and create a supportive environment enough in order to help that individual grow and succeed and mature with the proper level of support that just as much as their neurotypical peers would over their time here at Marshall. So we support students here at Marshall in a number of ways. As I mentioned before, our 3 tenets are academic, independent living, and social skills. So our big thing here on a college campus is we always tell everyone that when you think of a college education, how much do you think of it as a social percentage? How much of your success in and outside of the classroom requires you to be a social person? Develop that level of social reciprocity, engage with your professors, engage with your roommates, do your group work, find your way around campus. And typically we like to inform people that about 90% of college requires an increased level of social reciprocity as opposed to a K-12 setting. And so when you have individuals that are coming into a higher education setting that have some struggles or some challenges, engaging in a constructively social way, requires a level of support to help mitigate that. And so, our goal is to not only step in and help facilitate some social interactions, whether it's between professors and students in office hours, whether it's maybe between students and parents on changing majors or anything like that. But the goal is, as we do that, to not only help students, better understand and better interact with the setting, or the college setting socially, but the goal is to also modify behavior in a way so that, freshman and sophomore year we're a little bit more hands-on and there's a little bit more of an in-depth assistance there, but over time that student can learn to develop those same skills in and of themselves. So whether it's social interaction, whether it's executive functioning, time management, all of these things we're going to help create and modify at the very beginning in a much more extensive and intensive way, and ultimately we'll rely on junior and senior year, those students creating those same supports for themselves on their own, and we become more of just advisors. So some tangible things that we provide students and some resources we develop in our student meetings and we review regularly. Academically, we're big on time management. So the visual schedules we provide are color-coded schedules and we provide those to our students really to help understand how much free time they have in a day. So we start with the core tenets and building blocks of classes. We add in additional things like, when do we want to go to certain groups? When are we going to eat our meals? When are we going to shower? And then, after we plug all that in, the goal is to look at all of the empty space and say, when we ask you to do homework, this is the time we're talking about. And it helps students really visualize that. We also provide weekly assignment sheets where we go over not only what is due each day of the week, but what we should what we should be working on each day of the week. And oftentimes that kind of is a hidden struggle. A lot of folks, whether they're on the spectrum or not, I was the same way. When I get one chapter of reading for a night, that means I had no homework. And so instead of kind of advocating for that system, we're going to help students help manage their time and in cases be better students than I was in some aspects. Social, we provide 3 social skill groups a week. We have an employment group, I run a men's group, and we also have a discover group. And then we also provide Friday night social activities, which are a little bit less of an academic or clinical setting, and they're more of just a fun, time to cut loose and hang out and get to know each other. And we do anything from, if it's not a pandemic, going down to Fat Patties, to doing trivia over Zoom, anything, just to have a little bit of fun and lighten our load at the end of the week. And independent living, whether it's coming over to my apartment or a men's group learning how to cook a meal, whether it's maybe helping students in the dorms learn how to throw that load of laundry in or tidy up their bedroom or anything like that. We're always down to help and provide those supports to students as well. Yeah, I think the coolest part about being a support specialist in this program is the role in which we play, and that is oftentimes when parents are supporting an individual with autism in a K-12 setting, they are their advocate, they are their tutor, they are all of these things. And so what we end up becoming here at Marshall is that family away from home for students. So we help take that load that parents have been doing for the past 18 years, pretty much on their own while handling full-time jobs and things like that, and we take that responsibility on ourselves, and we are able to be that support network and help not only see students succeed and thrive in the classroom and socially on campus, but also to help parents, whether they're from California or West Virginia or Michigan or Ohio or Maryland, to watch their sons and daughters be at a place where their anxiety is lessened and that they can see the rewards and the growth that their own children have had without them having to cry and sweat and all of these things to get their children across that finish line. So it's a very rewarding position.